When people talk about the pioneers of comic book movies, two movies always come up. Richard Donner's Superman from 1978 and Tim Burton's Batman from 1989. Those movies created the language for everything we see today in comic book movies. What if there's another movie, one that's rarely given the same respect, that deserves a spot right alongside Superman and Batman as a pioneer of the comic book movie genre? I think that's 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. Marvin obviously never saw it, so this month we made him watch it. And now we're going to talk about whether it actually belongs in that comic book movie pantheon. This obviously takes from the comic books and also the cartoon show, which was very popular.
The cartoon was great.
And that is, of course, the famous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel like in order to be considered a pioneer of a thing, especially for comic books, you have to establish a new cinematic language, which Superman obviously did, Batman did. You got to elevate the genre's legitimacy. Without Superman and Batman, there wouldn't be comic book movies today, I don't think. And you have to influence future adaptations in tone and style. Tim Burton's tone for Batman and Donner's tone for Superman is still being replicated today, unless you're Zack Snyder. And you have to break technical ground or like cultural ground, and Superman and Batman are cultural giants. I'm going to make an argument for why Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles does those same things. What'd you think about it, Marvin? This is your first time watching it.
First time. This was great.
Hell yes.
I enjoyed this quite a bit. I thought the practical effects were like crazy. Now, how old is this? This was
1990.
1990? Yeah.
34 years old.
It holds up.
Oh, yeah.
Like the animatronic facial expressions are really good. What I like most about this, honestly, was like that, like gritty New York feel to this.
This was back when New York was bad.
It was bad. This was,
You don't want to be in this New York. Nah.
This was before the Trump deals.
Hell yeah.
In New York, for sure.
Yeah. I'm glad that you noticed the quality in the practical effects, because it's one of the arguments that I could make for this movie. It had groundbreaking practical effects for the time. In fact, they used Jim Henson's Creature Shop to create the animatronics that were revolutionary for the time. And yeah, that's right. The same Jim Henson that did the Muppets. Okay.
Legendary.
His Creature Shop, well, yes, there were actors in the suits. They made the animatronics for the facial features and expressions. And like you said, they hold up. I would take this
100%.
Any day of the week over some CGI slop like the ones that came out, I don't know, 10 years or so ago? That live action movie? Live
TMNT
action.
or
TMNT, with the CGI where they look horrifying. Look at this.
Oh no!
Look at this. That's like awful.
Yo, that's crazy.
So I'll take this.
They're trying to do too much there.
Right. Look at this.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's not good, Marvin. Not good.
Splinter's ear is barely even fucked up there. That ain't even right.
Yeah.
I'll take the goofy animatronics any day of the week.
It's kind of crazy what people could do when you don't have the CGI crutch. Yeah, like you said, Alien, like The Thing, Jaws. Like when you don't have that crutch, it's like, oh man, we got to figure out how to make this.
You got to get
crazy.
creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's always impressive.
The shark in Jaws, like, oh man, our animatronics not working. We can't. Production's already over budget. We're we're over schedule. What are we gonna do? Float some fucking barrels. Like it's that's filmmaking. That's ingenuity. That's there's a magic in that that's lost. Nowadays with the overuse of CGI.
It really is a crutch. It sucks.
And it's cheaper, like we were talking about last week. Like it's good when it's used as a tool, but like it's just all it is now. You're watching actors on a fucking green screen.
Right.
Get studios underpaying CGI artists and working them overtime and making them strike. It was crazy.
Yeah. And the other thing that you touched on too, Marvin, there is that blend in this movie of grit and humor. Before that was like really a trendy thing to do. You had that like dark, gritty urban realism and the quirky humor of the Turtles. And it like echoed the tone of the comics. It was still appealing to kids. And it was one of the first movies to do that as far as I'm aware.
I love this movie. It doesn't have the rewatchability for me. I don't think as much as you do. I still like rewatching it from time to time, but I'll put it on the background when I'm doing other things because I've seen it so many times. It's nostalgic. It's great. This one, even the sequel is awesome. Some you're going to have to go watch now, Marvin.
Secrets of the Ooze.
If you like this one. Yeah.
Not as good, but it's good.
Not as good, but
Don't
still
watch
good,
the
still
third
fun.
one. The third one is terrible.
But yeah, the characters, the writing for all four of them is great. Yeah, it's just good overall.
Some of it,
movie.
while I was watching it as a 39-year-old adult, some of the dialogue seems like a little cheesy, but it's like it's for kids. And I think one of the things that's great about this movie is it does have like a multi-generational appeal. I think it's good that it's like a nostalgia thing for people our age, kids who loved it in the 90s. And now, like, maybe you, Dusty, will introduce it to your own kids that, you have, and Marvin and me.
Yeah.
And keep the franchise alive, right? Because it's still appealing to kids, even though it's a little bit older. I think we both agree it holds up. It helped establish the idea that comic book movies could be like family-friendly blockbusters without sacrificing the depth maybe of Superman and Batman and like those types of blockbusters. This was a blockbuster, but not in the traditional sense. This became a blockbuster. Like Superman was made to be a blockbuster, right?
And I grew up watching the cartoons and playing the video games. So when this movie come out, it was an automatic like hit for kids my age. I was 10.
Yeah.
So
so this was actually, Marvin, you had mentioned you didn't know it was a comic book. This is based on, it's a black and white indie comic. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were the creators. Obviously not a mainstream superhero property, but it proved that, non-Marvel and DC could be adapted into blockbuster movies. This had a budget of $13.5 million, and it earned global box office of $202 million. So it became the highest grossing independent film of all time at the time, and it was only usurped by Blair Witch Project.
That's crazy.
It spawned sequels, merchandise, animated series after this. Like the franchise of Ninja Turtles is still very strong today, and I think this movie played a large part into it. Let me tell you something, Marvin. This is the only movie that ever made a fucking kid want to run away from home. You see that clubhouse they were hanging out at?
Yeah.
God, did I want to go live there when I was a kid. Staying up late, smoking cigarettes, drinking whiskey, fucking playing arcade games. And all you got to do is some burglaries for the foot, right?
It was made for kids or whatever, but it did have some deeper stuff in there that was kind of heavy, like Leo grieving his father figure, like that whole thing. It's important for kids to see that stuff too. So
this tackled themes of like teen alienation, right? In the late 80s, 90s, there was this like rash of like runaways. Soul Asylum did that song Runaway Train, and it's about runaways. And the video for that song that came out in 93 had images of real people who were missing children. And I think the song was responsible for like 26 missing children being found. I may be getting off track, but I think that was like a real thing back then. And so a movie to come out that's like a blockbuster dealing with themes like teen alienation and crime and family, not just slapstick pizza jokes, like it was salient for the times.
Gangs have always been like an issue. So like that whole thing of like, oh, if you're not wanted at home, I could be your father here. And it's kind of similar to the whole like gang narrative, like where kids just link up with people and they think they have their best interests, but they're really just using them for their own whatever motive they have or whatever they're doing. So
they even touch on it, April's boss, he's talking to his son. He's like, I make enough money that you don't ever have to steal anything. Like what's the problem? And it's just, it's that teen angst, and every generation goes through it. Every generation goes through rebelling against their parents, people looking for different things and being tired of, parents were working full time and, the schools were raising your kids, and it's just, looking for something to find meaning in anything. It was pretty crazy. Crazy time.
Yeah. I think the character of Danny is like a good representation of that, because like he's a kid who like really has no reason to be unhappy, but still is. So it's like, it's a deeper exploration of like why. And that's where Splinter comes in, giving him the wisdom of like, oh, I doubt very much your dad doesn't care about you. All fathers love I'm gonna get choked up. All fathers love their sons, right? So like, why was he feeling that way? There's you can't discount his feelings. There's something there to be explored, but like, don't just join a gang, idiot.
But it was a lot lonelier back then because like if you didn't really have any friends at school, and all you had was your home life, we couldn't do this back then because we didn't have the internet. You couldn't reach out and touch somebody 1,000 miles or 5,000 miles away. All you had was who you were hanging out with. Yeah. And if there's nobody to hang out with at school, after school, you'd find the wrong crowd somebody would accept you, and it wasn't always the right crew.
That bad crowd that my grandmother always told me about. She used to say, show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are. That's that grandma wisdom right there.
Wise words. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think this is a great movie. I think it holds up. I think it's widely underrated, like just in the comic book genre. Obviously, Superman and Batman, I'm using those movies because they were the big ones at the time. They focused on traditional superheroes, the two biggest superheroes of all time. Ninja Turtles, I think, expanded the genre to include non-traditional heroes, mutant turtles that are teenagers trained in ninjutsu. Like, it's ridiculous. It showed that comic book movies don't have to be about like capes and superpowers. It could be about weird and wild shit and still work.
And have fun with it. Like, there's so many just moments in this that were just silly, like when they were having the nunchuck off.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like they're like so funny.
One of the better scenes.
I'm a lifelong Ninja Turtles fan, and it's because of this movie. Like, this is the movie that got me into them and the cartoons. Like I said, it proved that independent comics could succeed on the big screen, that practical effects could bring more fantastical characters to life than just guys in capes and stuff like that, and that comic book movies could be dark and funny and emotionally resonant. So in that sense, I think it's more than just a cult classic that a lot of people consider it to be. And I do think it is a genre pioneer hiding in plain sight. I think this could easily stand toe to toe with Superman and Batman. So this has a 6.8 on IMDb. Marvin, first time watching, what'd you give it?
This is like an 8. This is a solid 8 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it a little bump. I think it's worth at least a 7.5. For what it did, deserves more than a 7 or a 6.8 for sure. It's the animatronics, the nostalgia, everything. But it doesn't hold up as well as some of those older movies, but it does the job. So yeah, 7.5 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm right there. I'll give it an 8. I wish we could go back to this. Like, I wish we could go back to this practical style of movie. It's just so much better to me. It's more charming, even when it looks ridiculous. Like, I just think it looks better 9 times out of 10. Check it out. It's a great one. Holds up. If you're a zoomer and you want a little hit of old school comic book movies, check it out. If you're a fan of this movie like we are, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the movie.